Hello, everybody, and welcome to another day of Today in Quarantine. This is episode 33, I do believe. I'm just kind of going off of these episode numbers based on my own head. I have no idea if those are accurate or not, and I will have to look it up at some point and actually look at my history of videos. But 33 seems accurate. That's 11 three times. Yeah. I think I've done this 11 three times, which is actually it's really hard to believe. I know I say this, I've been saying this for the past couple of days, but it just really is hard to believe that for one, we've been in this for at least a month, and for another thing, we've been you know I've been doing this podcast for at least a month. It's really weird, but yeah, glad to be doing it. Glad to be back. I'm in a different spot. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that this week I started working from my couch instead of at my desk. Um, it's been a hard transition for me, but very worth it. Glad to be where I am now on the other side of my house. You gotta find the funny thing somewhere. Well, today in quarantine here in Lincoln, Nebraska, it is a beautiful day. The sun is shining. It's in the upper 70s again. I went out for a bike ride earlier today, just kind of to take a little bit of a break. And it's nice and cool, little breeze going. The sun is really nice. It's just a good day. It's just a good day to be alive. I actually talked to a friend who I hadn't talked to for a long time last night. We just talked for a couple hours. And yeah, it's nice to have this slowdown, which I'm sure everybody's heard before. But I've realized lately how much my life has really slowed down. And I was thinking, my life's not as different as it was before. Um, my life hasn't changed quite as much. Um, because I mean, I'm not going to work, obviously, but one of the things that hasn't changed is that um, I'm still doing, I still have some lessons that I'm teaching online. I'm still teaching from 7:45 to 3:15, or planning and doing some sorts of instruction at those times. So that hasn't changed. I think my evenings have changed definitely. I'm definitely here more often than not, 90% of the time. Um, and it's nice to just slow down, just kind of reconsider what life is. I was actually the friend that I was talking to. I hadn't talked to her since my freshman year of college, so 6 years or no. Well, I hadn't seen her since my freshman or sophomore year of college, so about 5 years. And I was just telling her kind of how my life has changed right now, and she's like, "Oh wow, that sounds like you're almost a different person than you were before." I was like, "I guess I am." I hadn't thought about it until she'd mentioned it. So it's nice to slow down, kind of consider life, and do some self-reflecting, which I really should dig into. Um, but yeah, how are you self-reflecting this quarantine season? How has your life actually changed? I mean, yes, you're working from home. You probably maybe homeschooling kids, or um, you know, mostly working from home. But how has life actually changed for you? Are you spending more time with people that you love? Are you spending more time actually talking to people? I downloaded this app because my friend was telling me to. It's called the Marco Polo app. And essentially, it's like text messaging, but with video. And I know you're thinking, wow, that's not, I mean, that's FaceTime, that's Facebook Messenger, that's all these other apps. What do you mean? Oh, I was thinking the same thing too, to be honest. I thought that it was just about the same. However, I've been pleasantly surprised with the app. It's a really nice way of communicating. And it's literally just sending a text message, but with your voice. And you can just say so many more things. You have your facial expressions. And then the other people, or when you receive a text or Marco Polo, then you can just, you can wait to read at your convenience. It's not an entire phone call. And it's there you can watch again. So it's not like Snapchat or something like that. It's really convenient. So check it out if you haven't already. It's called Marco Polo. And yeah, if you're friends with me, you'll see me on there. Send me a message. Love to hear from you. So yeah, that's kind of life right. Yeah. So let's see. Pastor Guas says she's deep in the study. I'm in deep studies of the scriptures, loving, enjoying the slower pace. Husband loves that I'm home. That's awesome. I'm so glad for you. Yeah, it must be really nice to have that slow down. I'm definitely enjoying it as well. Yeah, as I'm getting to work on more projects, more things. As I've been thinking about what's happening in the summer, I can actually have like a future plan of things that I can do around here in the summer. So hence my garden. My summer plans are not quite solid yet, but they're starting to develop, and so I can kind of figure that out. Yeah, it's a good day to reflect. It's always a good day to reflect, but often I sometimes I forget to stop and look back for a little bit because I'm just constantly looking at the ground where I'm running, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Let's see. I was gonna review a Pixar movie today, but I can't remember which one it was. Nope. Did The Incredibles the other day. Well, since we did The Incredibles the other day, we could just talk about The Incredibles 2. The Incredibles 2 is an interesting sequel. First of all, it took 13 years. 13 years? 13 years for them to come out with the sequel to The Incredibles, which is a really long time in Pixar years. Yes, you have to spend time animating and stuff like that, but considering that sequels like Toy Story and Cars came out fairly close together. I mean, there have been 4 Cars movies in the time that it took to make 2 Incredibles movies. It's just, it was just they didn't think that they wanted to do one until they did. It was a very interesting movie. You had the story of Mrs. Incredible, and that it was kind of focused on her storyline this time instead of on her husband, and kind of how she gets back into the super fighting business as um, as time goes on. As time goes on, kind of doing a lot more of the superhero business, and she's not doing quite as much. And turn this off. And so, she steps up and starts doing the superhero business. And this is good family about it's a good story about family values and about just life in kind of the modern age, and how women are constantly, taking care of home, taking care of work, taking care of everything else. And Bob struggles to teach. Bob is Mr. Incredible. He struggles to teach his son Common Core math and deal with his teenage daughter's up and down swings. I feel like Bob is a good representation of us, a lot of parents right now in quarantine trying to homeschool their kids. I just read an article today actually about how a lot of parents are like giving up on homeschooling because it's just too much, which it is quite a lot. Imagine having multiple kids in multiple schools doing multiple things, and it's trying to help them with everything. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But yeah, if you have time, check out The Incredibles 2. Great movie. Good sequel. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was definitely made. I think a lot of the Toy Story movies and a lot of Pixar sequels were made for for kids of all ages. You watch the first one, you watch the second one, and yeah, it's great. They're connected, but they're still for kids. I think with a couple of Disney and Pixar sequels lately, they've been doing them for the kids that originally watched the first movie, which is a pretty cool concept. So instead of keeping it on the same surface level as the original was, they kind of go a little bit deeper so that the kids who watched the first movie have a better understanding of that. For example, I really enjoyed The Incredibles because it wasn't just talking about, oh yeah, superheroes and being special when I was a kid, but when I was younger, when I watched it last year when it came out, last year, yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, when it came out, I was like, wow, this is applicable to my life right now. So there you have it. It's a pretty good movie. Good stuff. So I think so far we've reviewed Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc., The Incredibles 1 and 2, and Onward. So if you've got a movie that you'd like me to review or something like that, just let me know. I'm not exclusively doing Pixar movies, but they're just one of my favorite genres and producers of movies. So that's definitely a good thing. Transitioning now into our dad jokes of the day. I actually asked some of my students, or not some of my students, but I asked my students to give me a joke and make me laugh this week. So I will share those jokes tomorrow when I pull them up. But they had some pretty good ones, including this one that I'm going to tell you now. You know, one of the best things about Switzerland? Well, the flag is a big plus. Ta-da. Didn't. Good one. A Bug's Life is the other one that I've reviewed. Thank you for that. I don't know if I want to rewatch Ants. Andrew, that's a whole lot. Duel. Oh no, that movie was terrifying. I mean, I did watch it when I was 8, so maybe I should rewatch it as an adult. Maybe not. All right. Some other dad jokes for today. Sorry there, I just had a brain fart. I forgot them all. Dad jokes for today. Dad jokes. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. There you go. My neighbor and I are actually pretty good friends, and so we decided to share our water supply. We got along well. I warned one of my students about playing their trumpet too loud. I frequently do this. This is a true story. I frequently warn one of my students about playing this too loud. And one day I gave him one last chance, and he blew it. The trumpet. He blew it. Yeah. A farmer takes a rest on a bale of hay. I love my job, he says out loud. A sheep replies, all you do is boss me around all day. The farmer, clearly upset by this statement, responds, what did you just say? And the sheep replies, you heard me. Why did the macaroni go to church? Because he was the pasta. There you go. There's another one. And the last one for today. I met a pilot one time who said he actually wanted to be a sailor, but he was in the wrong craft. These are pretty good. Reddit has pretty good dad jokes. Oh, man. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today in quarantine. I hope you join us tomorrow for another episode of Today in Quarantine, Tomorrow in Quarantine. And yeah, we'll see you then. Keep safe, wash your hands, and stay inside. Social distance. Have a great day, everybody.